This is the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and Krissy Vann. That's me. And we're taking you on a little off-roading.
And every single week, we're going to be joined by our dope friend, Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Woo! Hey, I floss.
And every week, we're going to ask each other stupid questions. We're going to answer them. And why, you may ask? Because we can. All right, this is your Motovation
Off-road edition.
All right, crew, who's going first? Oh, well, wait. Well, what am I talking about? Rochelle's not even settled. Hold on.
What do you mean? I'm so.
I was like, I was looking off to the side and then I heard water and I was like, what? That's not gonna.
That wasn't me. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're
No,
talking about.
don't say sorry. I just was jumping the gun.
Well, I love that about you.
I am business mode today, guys.
Well, then I have a real big business question to kick things off.
I can't wait.
Oh, like an actual business question. I meant, yes. Okay. Is that how we're kicking it off? Business?
Yes. Is love really blind? And we all know the Netflix show. It's been through a couple of seasons.
It's the really one reality.
Go ahead.
No, continue.
Tell me more.
I'm all ears. I was like, this is way different. I'm all ears.
But now I want to know what this one reality is.
Yeah. The reality. It's the one reality show. Because I used to be a huge reality show person. And it's like one of, I think maybe like 2 or 3 that I watch still is Love is Blind. Because it feels good. You don't feel like you've just been through like, the cesspool of human interactions. Love is Blind leaves you feeling like, oh, until they live together. And then it gets a little dodgy.
Then it gets weird.
And then it gets weird. But
Then
in
it
the
gets
pods, I think it is. I do. I think it is. I think people, when they're in there, because essentially the baseline is you cannot, well, everyone, if you're listening and you don't know what Love is Blind is, it seems wild. But in case you haven't, essentially, you cannot see the person. You go on these dates with a bunch of people. You either fall in love or you don't fall in love. And if you do fall in love, they propose. And after proposal, you see each other for the first time. And like, this is, I think, like 8 seasons, and there's a couple different countries that are doing it. But for the most part, I've only seen, I think, 2 times maybe that they're like, oh, they weren't what I was hoping for. It's not my, like, no matter what they look like, by that time, they genuinely are just so in love with one another. It's when they're human shit that they haven't worked through and they live together. That's when it all, if it does come crumbling down, that's usually when it does. But he like gets in the way. That's like,
I think the looks thing is the height. I've seen it go bad when the heights are mismatched. Like
They
versus
come
the
out?
faces. Yeah, that's a big one.
What are you thinking, Richelle? You have a thought bubble above your head.
Like when they come out, that's what they look like. They look like this.
With eye patches underneath. Can you imagine? Just like, you're just in your cozies. You're like, well, this is a test.
I feel like that's how I would do it. I'd be like, get used to this, because let's be real.
This is my real life. You know what I was surprised by to find out that Leo, was his name Leo? The painter?
Yeah.
That is only
Humble
$6
brag
million.
Leo?
Yeah,
Only
the only
worth
one
6
that can
million.
talk about that he's rich, but he doesn't want people to talk about that he's rich.
That he's
not
rich,
even
yeah.
rich. He's not even rich.
Oh,
$6 million. It's nothing. We're gonna buy.
Gotcha. How he's always like, here's the thing, like, it's not a big deal, but I'm very rich.
Very rich, yes.
I have a
was
ludicrous
gifted.
amount of money that I came into. Yeah. And then he's like, it's no big deal, but I was part of the tennis team and I was at private schools and all my friends were rich, but it's not a big deal. And let's not talk about it again until I bring it up 10 minutes from now.
And I don't want people to fall in love with me for my money, but I'm going to only tell them about my money so that they don't fall in love with me for my money.
That's it. Do you think she was in it for the money, or do you think she was in it to try it out?
Who?
The girl that he ended up choosing, because
wow! Spoiler alert! I just mentioned I was on. Just kidding. I know that Brittany's the only one left, but I don't know how it goes because the last I watched, she read her highlighter pink letter to herself. I'm like, you are grown. Stop writing highlighter pink, ma'am. But that's the. I think there's no. Yeah.
Glitter pens. You remember
Yeah.
those ones?
Oh,
Staples?
so mad at him in our glitter pens at 40. I think it helped without a doubt. She already said she dates mainly people that are well established or have some sort of like prestige alongside of them. So I think there's no doubt that's what attracted her or was a part of it, a big part of it. But I also think she's on that cusp like of being like, these guys never really work out. It seems as though these guys kind of want trophies. And I don't know if I want to be that anymore, but I don't think she's willing to let go of the fact that she wants to be taken care of, which I'm like, you might not be able to get it both ways. You might be able to, but you might not.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Love is blind.
and see.
What do you
We'll
think?
go
What
to
do you guys
business
do? You
questions.
think it's Love is Blind?
You know, I really do. I'm somebody that definitely is like, I'm realizing gravitates toward intellect and the mind. There's a name for that. It's like symbiosexual.
Oh,
Obviously, yeah. So I guess for that reason, but then it's hard to say if you have no context over what this person looks like and if there was no physical attraction. Because I'm like, that other component, you need to chemically and sexually want the person.
mhm.
So because you see that happen sometimes. They go away to the tropical island and everyone's like, we banged all night. And then there's the awkward couple that's like, oh, like didn't want to touch each other.
Laurie's not there
It
yet,
is.
right?
Who, me?
Yeah, you're not on that episode yet, right?
I mean, she knows
No,
the
thanks,
format.
guys.
It happens every season.
It's just, that's a given by now.
Such a.
All right. Who's next?
I want to hear. I want to hear more.
I want to know about the neighbor a little bit. Has your neighbor been up to see you against at any point? Your neighbor, has there been any fun little,
The one that stole your shoes?
yeah, and then dyed them and returned them and pretended he gave you new shoes?
I moved.
Oh, sad.
But he did call me the other day.
Day because I did
Oh.
keep that apartment. And okay, here's the thing. I'm not allowed about doing illegal things, but my apartment,
Oh,
I spend a certain amount of money on it, $1,386, which is a really
Yeah.
good deal for like a Victorian style open concept apartment downtown Vancouver. And my friend needed a place to stay, so I'm subletting it because I was like, if I
Gotcha.
leave, I know they're gonna jack it to like $2,300 a month.
Yeah,
Yes.
well.
He called me the other day. He goes, "Hey Rachel, is my pressure washer fixed?" And I said, "No, Alex, it's not. I can't fix it. I'm not a pressure washer person." And he said, "You've got to fix it." And I was like, and he freaks out. He always freaks out. "You got to fix it. I told you have to fix it. And if you don't fix it, I'm evicting you." And I was like,
That's
if you don't fix his pressure washer, he's ready to fix shit.
that was in the contract, line 3.2.
Yeah.
and I was like, "Alex, I can't fix it. And I've tried so many times. And I just go over this thing with this guy every time about his damn pressure washer. Now, well, we can't throw it out. It needs to be fixed." And I was like, okay. I was like, "Well, just so you know, like I'm going to Mexico again and I've got somebody living in my apartment right now." And he goes, "What? You can't have anybody living in your apartment. They're going to have to sign a contract and we have to make sure that they're a right fit and blah, blah, blah." I said, "No. And I'm not fixing your pressure washer. Goodbye."
Okay, Richelle. Okay.
Hey, buddy, not wrong. He's not wrong.
But he will think he is because you said it with conviction. And so he's going to think he's wrong. He's going to be like, well,
Yes.
she sounded confident.
He's just so funny, right? He's so up in age that he just, his pressure washer, it's very intense for him. He needs
How
to
old
fix
is he
that
again?
thing. He's like 91 or something, 92. He's barely walking. He can't move, but he's still out there doing his thing. And every time I stroll by the house, because I do, he's out there in his little rolly cart, driving around, checking shit out, trying to find me, I'm sure. And he just, bless his heart. I really do like him.
Yeah.
He's got such pizzazz, and I still have his coveralls.
Pizzazz is a great descriptor for people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I marvel at him. I really do. So
Okay. Well, that didn't disappoint.
that's my neighbor. He's gone, but I got
You don't even live there and you still have neighbor adventures.
He's just a good guy. He's a solid guy, and I hate it when he leaves the earth. I really do.
Well, blessed be.
That took a turn.
Love it.
Well, he is 91, so at the end of the day, it's not that, not that outrageous. No, it's not, to anywho.
Speaking of elderly, okay,
Yeah.
Florida.
Milton.
Storm, largest storm ever in that side of the river.
The Atlantic Basin.
I love that they named it Milton. How calming. And what's your guys' get out of town pack? What do you leave? How do you get out? Like they just got hit, and then they're getting hit again. I can't imagine. I'm like in shock watching all the stories.
Yeah, so what would be in our kit on the escape?
Give me your kit. Do you have one?
I mean, I would just get my kite surfing parachute and put it in the wind and surf into the wilderness.
Hope for the best.
Okay. I do have an emergency kit. Of course I have an emergency kit. Think about, I spent so many years reporting on people not having the shit together. That's why we all have our collective, where are we meeting if there's an earthquake?
Red truck.
Because we can stock up on food and beer. Well, because there's all low rise in the area, so we don't need to worry about like shattered glass and stuff coming off of buildings post earthquake. Mm-hmm. And then we can loot some food, etc. Like it's just the perfect plan. But for me, before I think a lot of people would say photos, but now they almost all live on the cloud. So that's really handy. So definitely having my phone, which I probably wouldn't be able to find in a rush because it's me. So that's problematic. Right. And then on the sentimental side, I do have a laminated letter from my dad that he wrote me. And it was before he passed, but kind of knew he was going to pass. It's the most valuable thing that I own in my house. But I actually have obviously uploaded that to the cloud as well, in case you just never know, right? Like
you never know.
But I would love the physical copy, but I am somebody that doesn't get super sentimental attached. And at this point, my wedding ring's in there, and I would definitely let that burn to the ground. No.
That can melt.
You could use that
just
for looting.
That's true. I could barter.
You could barter that. Like, some new bloodstones or something. You know what I mean? Get good.
Definitely.
You don't want to lower. What do you got? I mean,
I'm the photo albums gal first. I've got one of those like little carry-on suitcases in our closet, and that's got like all of our ready go stuff, and then we have like all of our burn bags and stuff for passports and anything like that, and the thing to quickly go. But if I had to take anything, got Marley. Mm-hmm. Like your leggings and stuff quickly. I would chuck a shitload of leggings in a bag, a backpack, and tank tops so that like you can change, but it's not going to take up room. And then my photo albums from like, that's the only thing that would take up room. But here's the thing. I don't think I could take them because chances are if we ever something like shit really hits the fan, we're going to be taking Dave's dual sport bike. Yeah. And so we're going to be like backpacks, Marley on my chest with a, like a backpack, and then him in a backpack and his foods kind of thing. And we'll be on a motorcycle getting out of Dodge because for the obvious reasons, traffic, you could just weave your way in and out of it and get where you're gone. And then worst case scenario, we like buy a car once we're out of Dodge, off someone.
I love it. It's a solid plan.
You guys,
what about you, Richelle?
I also love that you're going out, like you guys have like all this sentimental stuff. Isn't it so funny? It's all about the sentimental things. In one of the videos that I saw on TikTok, and the first thing that people put up after their house got trashed was their family photos on the wall. It was like the first thing they put up.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, we got to take them down again. But okay, I don't have a fucking bag, you guys.
Get a bag.
Please.
Get a bag. Right now, get a bag, and we're going to talk you through what you need to put in. Get that can of corn from the cupboard. Get it in there. Get your Band-Aids. Get your antiseptic cream or whatever
that makes me think of like in the beginning of COVID when you were doing those like emergency grocery shops, and the canned goods that I got, there were options. Like, why did I pick the things that I picked? I would never fucking eat that even in desperation.
Right?
I shouldn't say that, but I was just like, poor choices.
It's just one of those things, you think you need it, but And like it went crazy there for a little while. I was like, what is going? I was maybe under the impression that it wasn't as bad as it got, but also it wasn't a flood, it was a virus. So it was like,
And I was like, I need lentils in bulk.
and still go out. You know?
Yeah, that's when I fell in love with lentils. I was like, you know what? These are actually quite good for me, and they're a great time. They took on any
Source of
flavor that you put them. Yeah,
I
Now
know
you-
that the earthquakes are happening too off of Montefoucault. Is it where it's in Vancouver?
Yeah.
That's the big ship that we've all been waiting for.
The Cascadia subduction zone, where there's a 30% chance in the next 50 years that the big one will happen. But really, we live on fault lines all over the place. So we actually could be more concerned about a shallow earthquake that happens on one of those fault lines.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rachel's face. Oh, are you ready to get your
That's how I
little
talk to you,
suitcase
sexy.
ready?
I like to
Richelle?
plug things in and then just hear what Krissy has to say because I know that it's true. Okay, I think what I'll put in my pack, and
Yeah.
this is where I've bought dill for the most part, is because he's propane, which is great because all I have to do is loot a bunch of 20-pounders from everybody's barbecue down the street.
Smart.
Put it in the back of the truck. I don't need to stop at a gas station. 20-pounder, barbecue, 20-pounder, and I'll get as far as I can fucking go. There's no computer, so if anybody tries to jam in on my computer through my cell phone, ain't happening. Dill can pass through it. And I can only fit 2 more people in there. So if it's a hitchhiker and I feel bad, it's not like I can pick them up, so I don't have to worry about feeling bad. And then,
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Whole truck bed, just saying. Oh, but they're full of the 20 pounders.
20-pounders. That's right. And
I was gonna say, is this the truck or is this the This is the truck.
Truck. Still.
But I do have the van, but the van doesn't have the cheater hose.
Yeah. What about the truck bed? What are you talking about? You fit only 2 people.
Pounders.
Have-
It's all our
Full of
propane.
20 pounders.
Oh, yeah. But if you've been into Saskatchewan, people don't care. They'll sit on anything in the back of a truck. You got room. You got room.
I really would take them. That is the truth. I really
Nothing
would.
like
Yeah.
sitting on a valve, right? Right.
Nothing. Right.
Yeah.
It could be.
I remember sitting on whatever happened to be in the back of the truck bed, and you just made do and just said you had to make sure you had something to hold on to, because a lot of times whatever you were sitting on was like higher than the edge of the truck or the same. So you had to just make sure that you had something to grip onto when those bumps came.
We're like, we have potential certain death.
I don't know. I don't know how half of us are still alive from Saskatchewan.
I mean, you pop out.
I don't know.
Roll on a hay bale. That's how it goes.
I do love
Yeah.
back of the truck ride. I really do.
Yeah.
A little bit of straw up your ass.
Yeah.
You had that country thing that I saw, and you went to some country dance thing where they line danced.
Oh yeah, we went to the country bar, which also I think we should all go. It was so much fun, and they have like someone that leads it and teaches you. So it's not just like you got to kind of figure it out on your own.
Take over and be the teachers. It could get weird.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a crew. Like these are people that don't just like ambly come. These are like they come. Like they come all the time. And then there's certain songs that come on, and everyone clears the dance floor just naturally. You're like, oh, I guess we're clearing the dance floor.
When
And
are
then
we
they're
going?
like, as soon as possible. The 4 come out, 4 or 5, depending on who's there, kind of thing. And these are like people that clearly practice at home, and they just casually come out like, we're gonna do this. And then they just go to town with all the like moves and everything. And
Yeah, totally.
it's pretty great.
I know it.
Love
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day, there was a place called the Lone Star and also Gabby's, and they used to do the same thing. But oh no, Vancouver sucks now.
Yeah, it's not the greatest nightlife, is it, when it comes to like going out and dancing or
I just want to
having options?
I feel like it's adequate because I'm like, I don't want a night.
That's a great way to put it. It's adequate.
It's not adequate. The Roxy still exists. It sucks.
That carpet scares me for sure. It's seen so many things. Last time I was at the Roxy, I did a bunch of Jaeger bombs.
Can't think. Who-
I know. I did
Is
not
that
love
us?
it, but I took them anyways. Oh my god! Yes.
Was I
It
there?
was Haley's wedding.
Yes, because
I
I
the smart one.
I was
and
like,
you're no, thank you.
oh yeah, I was like, I'll videotape. You guys have at it. And I was just in the corner watching you guys. Yeah.
When I
So I'm
was
like,
16, a bunch of Jaeger was like the first thing I had when I went to a bar, and I threw
I
it up
know.
on someone's face and down their back. That's not what happened to my husband
no.
for 20 years. It's like
They-
they,
They got bombed. That's a Jaeger bomb
You threw up down his back and
in his face.
Yeah.
How did you get both
Ugh.
sides? That's how
Because he was carrying me because I was incapacitated from all the Jaeger bombs. It was the jostling. It was the jostling.
I got a question.
Hit it.
Are you guys watching the Mendez brothers? The series? That first episode
Never even heard of it.
was so it's have you heard of the Mendez brothers at all?
I don't think so.
So it was back in the 1980s, late 80s, and they were, I think, like 21 and 19 or something like that. And they were this like rich Californian family, and the parents were murdered in their house, and it turned out to be the brothers murdered their parents. And I always kind of like knew about it, but I didn't know like the story. And so they've come out with like a series, and the actors are so good. Like everybody's so good in it. I watched the first episode. I had to turn it off after 20 minutes because I was like, this is intense. And then watched it all the way through and was like, that was incredible. And also one of the craziest first episodes, just how like graphic they are with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's wild.
Oof.
How they just like watched a movie, and the movie was like about killing the parents, and they were like,
Sounds
do
good.
you want to kill our parents pretty much? And they were like, yeah, let's
wild
kill our
to me to
parents.
think of two people to be on board. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and
it's
they said they were
somebody
like
has a wild
instantly.
plan, and then there's normally the rational person that's like, maybe we don't
Yeah.
do that. But the fact that they're like double down, yes, excellent.
I missed that
100%.
I missed the part where they watch a movie and kill the parents. I thought they did it because of something else.
Well, they did it because there was like what led up to them wanting to do it was like the abuse, but they weren't going to kill the parents. They just hated their parents, right? There was just a super dysfunctional, abusive family. But this movie came on because he was telling the psychiatrist that, the one guy.
Right.
And then later they're showing them watching the movie and them kind of like looking at each other like, we could do that. We could just get rid of them. And then it being like, okay, what do we need to do next? And it was like that. And he's like, you watched a movie, and just kind of was like, oh, that's the ticket. He's like,
I feel like it's a good barometer for life, though, if you like fuck something up in the day and be like, you know what? At least I didn't watch a movie and plan a murder. I can do it all right.
Didn't do that. Yeah.
So true. They were
Right?
very sadistic. No,
It's inspirational, really.
yeah. I feel like there's so much to be said about just them as people and the sexual. I don't know if the sexual abuse was real. It wasn't, right? That was fake. They were just.
I don't know. I haven't watched her.
There's such a cliffhanger going on with this show. I'm just like, is it real? Did it really happen?
I mean, if it's based on a true story, a Google could solve the mystery for you. But
That'd be
then
the
you would not have the
spoiler.
suspense.
Yeah.
That would be. I mean, I'll probably still Google it because I watched the whole show and I'm still confused.
Oh, okay. I'm only on episode 2.
Oh, I do this every time.
Damn it. I like that this became the accidental theme of the conversation today.
Spoiler alerts.
Spoiler
Well,
alert.
keep watching it.
Oh, is that it? Is that the theme? Spoiler alerts?
I think so. Spoiler alert.
Oh, okay.
I
I
love
was
it.
like, maybe I missed it. So I was like, maybe we're
I
talking
mean,
about something completely
It
different.
happened organically, and I love it.
Okay, well, I think
What's
the
next?
other shows. I think there's more shows to be talked about here. How about the Golden Bachelorette?
Oh, I
There-
don't watch.
They have a Golden Bachelorette, not
Yes.
a Bachelor. Interesting.
The Golden Bachelorette came out.
How
It's
old
only
are
got
the
2 episodes
bachelors?
in.
Like, what's the age range?
They're in their like 50s to like I think early 70s, maybe late 60s. It's pretty like, but they're all so kind. Like you gotta watch it. It's like
I believe it. I'm currently involved with an
Yeah.
older man, and it's a lot of
They're
time.
wise. They're wise.
They're so wise. They're so wise. They like make her songs and like it's really cute. And
I would barf if somebody made me a song, even though it was sweet.
Oh
Like,
my
I feel
God.
like if I was put in that position, it would be so awkward because you're like, oh, they've just done something really nice for me. But inside, I'd
Yeah.
be like, as if I had a Jaeger bomb and got jostled. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, 100%. If they had a guitar and it was like a proper, like they were just a musician and it was like a good moment, I'm in. But if they're looking at my eyes and they're like, I wrote a song for you, and they're like, you make my heart go pitter pat, I'd be like, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to actually just stop you.
Love is Blind before Through the Wall, and they're just like,
Yes!
and you're just like, oh God, I would just exit. And like, you know,
I would sigh
where he goes into the bushes. That would be me.
Okay, one time I did a ukulele song for someone, and it wasn't very good. But now I understand the background of it. I won't be doing that again.
Guys, I got a good one. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I knew there'd be a moment where this would hopefully come in handy, and I never expected it to be this, but here we are, and I'm excited.
Are you going to sing?
My boyfriend of 3 years, we broke up, and there was a moment in time, and I was the one that broke it off and kept it broken off. And there was many attempts to get back together, but I was like, no. And about, I don't know, 6-7 months later, and he lived in a different country at the time. And I was like, and this is before you could like go on the phone or do it. Like he had flip phones still at this time, right?
Motorola
21 years old. And I knew that he got a video camera for his Christmas present. And so I took my video camera and I made a video for him being like, here, I think I want to give this a go. Maybe da-da-da. And in this video, I'm like, I've written a song.
Nope.
And in this video, I sing him a song, a cappella style.
Yeah.
Where is this?
And then I took that little cassette and I put his postage on it and I sent it to England. And someone said to me, what if he shows that to people? And I went, well, if anyone ever says anything, I'll be like, well, I know I don't have any real regrets. I didn't leave anything on the table. And he was like, because he was with another gal at this time. And I was like, look, if she's your person, she's your person. But like, I don't want any regrets. And I still look back and I'm like, I hope he kept that little cassette somewhere.
Yeah.
And I hope one day that shit comes out and me being like, I called you on the phone.
It's on YouTube. All of a sudden you become a viral meme in 2025. What's his name? What's his name?
Justin. His name's Justin.
Please. I feel like you need to find and track this Justin down.
I know where he is. He's in Calgary. He's he's a firefighter. He's an ex-hockey player. So he's a police officer or a firefighter, as they do, right? So he's a firefighter. And here's the thing, to be fair, is that his girlfriend, now his wife, likely was like, this is where you guys drop contact, because we stayed friends for a year after. And so rightfully so, the girlfriend was probably like, you received a cassette tape in the mail or a video cassette of her singing to you, being like, shouldn't we give this a whirl? Yeah, you got to call it at that point, which I was fully expecting. Like, I was like, if you are going to stay with her, this is where I don't see you ever again or talk to you ever again. Like, we knew that's where you were like, we're either, you got to call it at some point. And so if I reach out now 15, 20 years later, no, it'd be like 20 years later. And I'm just like, wait, hey, Justin.
What do you think? But this is the thing. So I had the guy that I lost my virginity with reached out on my birthday. We had the same birthdays after 20 years. Like,
we thought it was weird and laughed at him.
Yeah. Well, when I was just home in Niagara, he reached out again several times and insisting that I come over for coffee.
And
did you?
I didn't see, because I don't use Facebook Messenger. So I didn't see it till I was home. So I did not. Although, to be honest, if I had gotten it while I was there, I actually feel like it would have been hilarious and I kind of would have had to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I would have.
Although that being said, I don't know what his intentions.
But does it really matter? That's part of the finding out. That's part of the fun. Because all you do is say no, if it gets weird, like, I'm going to go, or like, no. But that's part of the fun. Is just like, what adventure is this what's this going to be? Is this going to be just a catch up and like, this was nice? Or is it going to get weird? Or is it,
It's going to be a movie about Krissy.
He's just naked when he opens the door. The basement.
Yeah. Her body in the backyard. We're like, oh no, I regret that advice.
Read that wrong.
Read that wrong.
I'm like, my last message to him would be that autoresponder that's like, thank you so much for contacting us. Like, oh, bless.
Oh God.
There were
Yeah.
signs. There were
That
signs.
makes me so sad. I don't want to see you go.
I don't want to rush us off, and I'm not rushing yet, but at some point, Kim is going to pop out, and I will have to plunge, and I apologize for that, but I didn't
We
mean
could
it.
do, even if it's to 8:30, that still gives us a good time, because it's essentially so that we can have 2 to 3, but even if this gets 2 episodes, because
Totally.
it's going to get harder and harder to match up schedules, and unfortunately. What's our last question?
Krissy.
Pumpkin spice season. Like, it's a little bit overdone. Now, who the fuck actually likes pumpkin spice that much?
The Mormon wives. That's who likes it. And they're very good looking. So I'm going to start doing that. I think it's sweater weather, pumpkin spice lattes, and Lululemon pants. And I'm totally into it.
I was like, Richelle, that is your MO, though, as you were describing it. I was like, that when someone sees you walking down the street, that's what I think people, wow, what a pumpkin spice, Mormon wife, Lulu wearing, fall, gal that is.
But I'm just like,
They don't
there's
see me.
there's pumpkin spice pre-workout. There's pumpkin. I'm just kind of like, I don't think it tastes that fucking good.
Oh, so it's like actually literally pumpkin spice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant like just as a general way to describe the theme.
Basic bitch.
Kind of, yeah. That's why I thought you meant like pumpkin spice, because that's where the like the vibe, because it's like that thing of like, here comes all the pumpkin spice bitches, the pumpkin lattes and the fall but I didn't know that like pumpkin spice was actually like that in and in itself is the flavor, is the thing that's in everything, because it's so much. Okay, well that all adds up too, because it's this whole like, and like, with their cups and the decorations, and their houses are now fully pumpkin spiced out with all the decor, and like it's Christmas, and and everything has to be like, it's fall pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. I honestly believe that because it's such a wave of things that people don't actually like. The flavor tastes like shit. I just don't.
I like it. I do like pumpkin spice. Yeah, no, I'm super into this flavor. I'm not into the vibe. I'm super into. I love pumpkin though.
It's awkward. I'm wearing Lulu's, and I've got
That's okay.
a puffer vest.
Oh, your pumpkin spice is showing.
I can see your pumpkin spice. I've never felt so naked.
Spice. Yeah. I've never been more exposed to something I thought we were going to laugh at.
And shit, I'm a basic bitch.
You're a basic bitch, Vancouver bitch. That's a very Vancouver thing.
What gym are you at? That's what matters. What gym?
Oh, it's even worse. It's even worse.
What is
it?
Altea. It's like
it's a bougie.
Yeah.
We want on Earth. You don't go to Spartan downstairs in commercial. Come on.
Who are no tetanus shots needed at this gym.
No.
Roxy. Saturday night.
Can you imagine if they turned the Roxy into a gym?
And that's the only leg workout I get lately. Yeah, it's Laurie. You know what I mean?
You just went off-roading with the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and myself, Krissy Vann.
And of course, a special thank you to Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Whoop, pause it.
Never miss an episode by hitting like or subscribe. Connect with us on Instagram at Motovation Podcast and visit our website at themotivation.com. And in the meantime, full tanks, full throttle.
I think this is good though. It's like healthy, like people will be like, "Oh my god, I don't lost."
Plus, it's gonna be so hard not to laugh to get through this intro.